everybody, and welcome back to the Grand Reel. So here I am with Tabitha, and Tabitha works in medical device reprocessing, and she's sort of a liaison between OR, which is the operating room, which I find very fascinating in so many ways, and MDR, which literally gets everything ready to be able to perform those surgeries safely, from the tools, the equipment, everything. And we were just talking before the break, I just like to pretend I'm a TV host, about this idea of what that takes in terms of the preparation and how extensive that is. And so just a quick question then for the audience. How long does it take to prep the items for, say, the knee replacement? Like you talked about 4 trays plus some other stuff.
So we usually, if an item is being used in the OR and we need to get it back to them because for whatever reason for equipment, we ask for 5 hours to process it because of the time that it takes to travel down to MDR. It needs to go through the washer, and then, or if it has any disassembly in the decontam space, then to be reassembled. After that, it goes in the autoclave, which is about an hour and 20 minutes, and then it needs to cool for an hour. This is too hot. And then sometimes it will have a biological with it. That biological needs to be read and passed before that we can release those instruments. So recently I just kind of was re-looking at that, how long, and it's looking more like 5.5 hours. Wow. So yeah, so it's a long process. And that's
and we want it to be safe, so that's
for sure. Yeah, for sure. But I forget what I was going to say. Yeah, safe is the most important thing, and done right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about you.
Okay.
That's always a fun topic.
Yeah.
It can be hard. Why don't we start a little silly and just go right out there? And this is one of our favorite questions because it gets a little bit into the sort of the depth of the person.
Yeah.
So you just won the 649.
Yeah.
$10 million. What are you doing?
I have 2 things. I would open a sandwich and soup shop.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it would only be till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's like a nice easy day after that. Yeah.
And homemade soups and sandwiches, maybe some bakery, and maybe on the side a yarn shop or a craft shop.
So going very entrepreneurial with this, Tabitha.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're gonna go with your dream, you might as well do something you love, right? Like I'm sure we do all the other stuff, like buy whatever, but
Yeah.
Money doesn't buy happiness, but crafts do.
I feel like that's a t-shirt that we should get.
Yeah.
Money, I think it would be popular.
Okay, well, I coined it.
It's trademark.
Yeah, trademark.
Absolutely. What, so very key question then, what would your favorite, what would the Tabitha special sandwich be and soup? Because that's really the most important thing.
I love a panini, turkey.
Toasted
Havarti.
with one of those grills? Yeah.
Turkey, Havarti, lettuce, tomato, pickle, mayo, maybe mustard, and then a little salad on the side, and maybe I used to get these wonton chips, baked, something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
You definitely thought about this.
Yeah.
This is great.
I love sandwiches.
I'm right there with you.
Okay.
Sandwiches are one of the best foods. Full stop. Awesome. Well, let's get a little more serious then. Why did you end up in healthcare? What was that path that led you there? So some people have lots of different meandering paths, but I'm really curious.
I was in my early 20s and I hadn't really done a lot of schooling, and my friend's mom worked in medical device reprocessing, and at the time they were looking for staff, and so they had a course that was something that was affordable and pretty quick. So I said that I was interested in doing it, and
here you are.
Here I am.
I think it's funny because I think people often fall in. Even I'm in fundraising and didn't plan to be in fundraising.
Right.
It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
And found something interesting and have spent 20 years in that, right?
Yeah.
So it's And has it brought you do you enjoy it? Is it something that you
I do.
Good.
Yeah, I've kind of floated between MDR and then I was an operating room attendant for some years, but it's all in the same OR MDR world. And I think if I didn't enjoy it, I think I probably would have moved on.
Yeah,
right.
It'd be hard to stick along without that.
Yeah.
So one thing, and I'm reflecting on delicious turkey panini sandwiches with Havarti on them, sort of melting and gooey. How do you start the day? Perhaps not with a turkey panini, but how does that day start for you?
Well, my husband and I were now I was saying we had a new puppy and we have a 10-year-old boxer, so we've been walking them in the morning. And that's not something we were really doing with the boxer regularly. So it's been a new habit we're forming. And then coffee, and more coffee after that. And then when I get to work, I usually take 10 minutes for myself to just kind of read something that's just for me, get myself a glass of water. If I can do that, I'm trying. Put me first, and then I start my day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate the intentionality of it. I think we all strive for our best selves and regularly struggle with that.
Yes, but, it's in my calendar. Do I do it every day? No.
And the other burning question from that sentiment, what kind of dog is your 3-month-old puppy?
Oh, he's a golden doodle.
Oh.
I know.
And names?
Maya is the boxer who's 10, and Finn is...
Maya and Finn, nice.
Yeah.
See, this is getting to the real meat of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite spot in Kitchener-Waterloo area that you like to go to?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Probably lately, I really like crafty ramen. I like
right downtown Kitchener.
Yeah, and it's just good food. It's a relaxed atmosphere. Like, it's always reliable, and it's kind of just it's me.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, ramen's pretty tasty stuff.
I love sandwiches and then ramen. is the order. Yeah.
I am learning more about you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I sort of like to ask is, what are some of the challenges you're facing? You know, we're coming out of this pandemic. It has been hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I should say we feel like we're probably coming out of the pandemic. I probably should add that caveat.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the challenges you see in and out of your role and working in the hospital?
Yeah. I think it's probably to do with the MDR net that I created that we were talking about earlier. It's just a lot of maintenance to do, and I think I know there's something better out there, so then that's part of me that, I go, oh, like this could be so much better, and there's no reporting that comes with the workaround that I've created. So a lot of times our hands are tied, or we're doing a lot of manual work to try and figure out, and I know it could be better, and so then the thought of that always is like the carrot in front of I'm just always, I want it kind of thing. So that, for me, that's a frustration, because it's not directly involved with patients. I don't have the same challenges as some other staff members with the pandemic. So,
do you see a path, so going back specifically to the future MDR software, like, is part of the challenge you're struggling to see how you get there, like to that next step, or what does that look like?
It's probably more just a capital thing, right?
Yeah.
Like a financial reason, right? I think all of the right people we've spoken to say, yeah, it makes sense. It's what we need to do. It is the next step, and the creation of MDRNet really brought us there, because at least we're now digital, and I've done some work in the background to like make a database. So the transition to the software would be quick and easy, but like in the real world, it's finance.
Well, and ultimately, the hospital's budget, they have to balance it and parse it.
For sure.
So, but to all those donors out there, if you have a passion for medical device reprocessing, which you should, we have a project for you. So give us a call. I always try to work in a pitch. The hospital recently launched a strategic plan and all that kind of stuff. And one of the main long-term aspirations is to create a world-class healthcare system right here for us.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I think of world-class, I think of the best of the best. So again, because I'm so tech-driven and that's what I'm doing, I think of the best softwares and the best solutions, for efficiency, for patient care, for accountability. Just that's kind of where my mind goes first, just that we would have the best of the best.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So what's, I also, this I find gives a lot of insight. What's a one book or one movie that you think people should make sure they spend some time with?
First thing that comes to my mind is Princess Bride.
Oh.
I haven't seen Princess Bride.
Oh.
You need to.
It's in my top 5.
Oh, well, there you go.
Ballads is what wing that together. It's such a great.
It's such a great movie.
And any reason why on that one?
I just loved it. It's just so good. I'm not very have an explanation.
No,
for
you
it,
don't.
honestly.
I hear you. I hear
It
you.
just popped in my head as that is the movie everyone should see.
I still quote it to this day
Yes.
to my children, and they don't.
They don't get it?
No.
Okay.
Good luck storming the castle.
Right?
You know, it's just they don't.
Also, Tommy Boy.
Oh, Tommy Boy, Chris Farley fan.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell my age.
I think we're probably the same.
Yeah.
One last question, I think, to sort of end the interview. If you could go back and talk to 18-year-old Tabitha,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to her?
I would say you do not need to touch the stove to know it's hot. I am a very stubborn person. I'm still learning that lesson, but I made many mistakes just because I needed to know.
You need to know.
Yeah, but to all of the young people out there, you don't need to.
We now have 2 great quotes from you. Oh, this was so much fun.
Thanks.
Thank you for taking the time,
No
Tabitha.
problem. Thanks
Really,
for
really
having me.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
And for the Grand Reel, I'm PMR, and thanks for spending time with us.